Hi everybody, it's Kathy here. Thanks for joining me today this Sunday on Scraplift Crafternoon. Happy Mother's Day to everybody out there. I hope you had a wonderful day. This is who we're lifting this week and celebrating, Brianna Spores. She's made a massive goal and we are helping her to celebrate today by scraplifting this amazing layout. Now, my actual celebratory layout for Brianna's Hop Wheels, another one which you can go and check out over on that playlist. But today we're scraplifting this one, and I am just going to prepare all of my papers for this. I'm using beautiful, uniquely creative ones here. It is a beautiful set of papers. It's nice and whimsical. Now, I have actually done this layout previously because Brianna and I both have done the Scrappy Friends with Kathy Let's Get Messy layouts, and this is one of them. And it's nice to do it again because this time it's all paper that I use as opposed to all mixed media. So it's a totally different look and feel to my layout, which I am really pleased with. So I'm just tearing my papers here to get a bit of a curve happening, because you can see in this base one that I'm ripping now that there is a doily type banner there that I want to incorporate as part of the layout. And then I'm overlapping my layers, and they are going to be a little bit layered more than what Brianna's got, but it's going to appear the same in the end. So I'm using Victorian velvet here, and I'm using that to ink up my edges and distress it. I love Victorian velvet. It gives that soft shabby chic feel to a layout. It's a nice soft pink with that little hint of a brown tone to it to give that vintage feel. So I've inked up all of the pieces that I'm going to incorporate in the base here. I love that pink wood grain. It just looks perfect here. What I'm doing now is I'm marking out the spaces where I'm going to use the Victorian velvet distress stain. And I love these distress stains, and I can't believe that I can't buy them anymore. It's so sad. I just love them. They were the perfect daubers. They make using mixed media so easy, particularly if you're worried about putting too much ink anywhere. And I love the effect that it gives. It gives like a chalky feel, particularly to this layout you can see here. So I'm using double-sided tape here just to fasten my papers to the layout, and I'm going to build those different layers there. And it doesn't matter that that one doesn't totally cover, because the whole layout is pink and it just comes together in the end. You can be more exact if you like and build exactly to the point. My tape is sticking a little bit because it's a bit of a wet day here in Sydney, and this is just layering it up, and I'm giving it a bit of a curl with my thumbnail there to lift it up off the page. Now, using my favourite stitching stamp, I am putting in my border just as Brianna has on hers. I just love this stamp. It is the best stamp I've purchased ever, and I just use it. There's a whole set of 4. They're all different types of stitches, and I just like how it comes together. And it looks like I've actually taken the time and pulled out the sewing machine, which I really need to start doing, but time is a factor, unfortunately, in my world, and that means reshuffling the whole room to do so. I'm also going to add in some stamping here just to build in some detail around the layout and add some more authenticity to the vintagey feel that I'm going for. I have this postagey type stamp which I am layering in here for this photo. Now, this photo is of my daughter, my eldest daughter, and when we were at the Pioneer Village, and she was standing on the veranda of one of the oldest buildings, and she just looks like she belongs in that era. And so by turning the photo black and white, it even enhanced it more, and that really does now pop off the background here. Now, I do have this photo in colour, and if I was to use it in colour, it would not match this layout at all. So that's when I make the decision that a black and white photo is better than the colour photo, and then that allows me to work with colours that are softer than the image that you would normally see. Like this was a really bright sunny day, so the colors in it are very vibrant. Like there's really bright blues in the sky, really bright greens in the tree, and the building is a bright red. So it would not have worked as well on this layout if I'd have kept it in color, but I like the fact that it's in the black and white and it gives that vintagey feel. So I've just used my dies to die cut these tattered film strips like Brianna has on both sides of hers. She's got the film strips, so I've added those in. I did add in the doilies instead of tags onto the layout there. I have my title, which says whimsical, and it's a chipboard, and I coloured that first of all with the Victorian Velvet stain, and then I inked over it with a spun sugar oxide pad. I have these little saying quotes, foam stickers. One says simple things, and the other one says life's little moments or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it says. I then have added in a touch of lace here to give that whimsy and bring in the fibre that Brianna has on hers. And then I created that little tag there over to the left hand side. I'm putting in a photo tab there, and I actually am adding this piece in instead of what Brianna has at the bottom of hers. I'm actually putting in some fussy cut roses just because the feel of the layout I felt needed that clustering there of these flowers. So I'm layering them up and putting in the foliage, as you can see here, which is really just adding that little bit extra to that corner and finishing off that corner just nicely. And that's how that's coming. Now, I wanted to, like Brianna's got little stamps and little quote sayings around hers. I am just going to add a little bit more stamping onto mine, and it's just a string of flowers and leaves, and that just adds a little bit of a different stamp to the layout. And then I'm just going to put down the date in the bottom right hand corner with the date stamper. That's always important when you're doing your layouts, to remember when this event happened. Now I am going to ink splatters, and I grabbed the wrong one. I actually need this one here, which is the vintage photo, and I'm just going to splatter it across here. Look, I am not an expert ink splatterer, that's for certain, and you can see I have ink everywhere. I go everywhere. I really should put down my ink sheet, but I'll clean up the board later, and you can see here how this has come together. A little bit of fibre up there in the corner. You can see that cluster down in the bottom. I love how that Victorian Velvet stain has dried to add that little bit of shading into the background of the layout, and it just has come together so nice. It's a vintage shabby chicy feel. I love that, how it's come together. Thanks, Brianna. Congratulations on your milestone. We will be celebrating. I have another layout that I will be celebrating on your hot with. Thank you to coming back to Scraplift Crafternoon. Tara does a great job coordinating all of us. And Tara, have a great time with your hubby. Happy scrapping, everybody. Hope to see you in the next video. And here it is for you now.